Hi, Franklin County. This is Diana Zinel of the Chamber of Commerce with another interview today with my good friend, Dr. Yves Salomon-Fernandez, president of Greenfield Community College. Yves, it's really nice to see your face today.
It's always great to see yours. We're twinning. We're wearing the same color.
This was completely by accident. We did not plan this. But Yves is somebody that the chamber, we work with quite a bit, and the relationship between GCC and the chamber is one we absolutely treasure. We treasure your institution very much, and for the positive impact that it has on Franklin County. So we're in this situation, and things changed for GCC so drastically and so quickly. I really hand it to you for being able to just change in that moment's notice, go to the online platform, continue to serve your students, let them finish out this semester because they were well into it, right? They had invested a lot of time and work into this. And so giving them the opportunity to continue with those studies and finish out and get those credits for this year. And also worry about them and their safety and their welfare. I know you and I had a couple of conversations about that when this was all first starting, and I think that's one of the things that makes you such a great leader there. But talk to me a little bit about what GCC had to do just in that initial when everything happened and we had to go into shutdown.
Well, first, I'll say, Diana, we are equally fortunate to have you at the helm of the chamber, and we've been very, very lucky to develop such a great relationship between our two institutions. And I also treasure our personal relationship. You're just such a great leader and someone on whose counsel I have been able to count on for the last year and a half. So it's a great partnership, and you're a lot of fun. So for folks who don't know it, she's a great leader and a fun one also. So thank you so much for that. It's very special to me. Yes, we had to adapt. We literally flipped the switch and had to go from face-to-face to remote and had to figure out how do we train our faculty and our staff and prepare our students and prepare ourselves to best support our students to succeed in a remote online environment. And I'm very proud of the work that we did, of the team, and of the heart that our community had, both within the college and folks outside who really supported us and really cared. We reached out to folks like you and other institutions to say, this is where we need help, and you've always been there for us, and you were there for us in our most critical moments. So we're very grateful for that and that sense of community that exists here in Franklin County and throughout the Valley. Yes, we encountered some roadblocks, some hurdles like everyone else, but we also made it a point to stop and reflect on what we were learning in the moment. What's working, what's not working, what can we do better, and how do we solicit information from faculty, staff, and students to make sure that the road ahead as we came closer to the end of the semester is one that promised to be as fulfilling and also as successful as we had planned for them from the beginning. So we adapted, we're evolving, we're using the lessons that we are learning now to make us a stronger, better, and more effective college.
Excellent, as I would exactly what I would expect you to do. So, we do work a lot together on a variety of things. I was really happy to take part in some of the initial strategic planning meetings for GCC, working on your next strategic plan. We work on a lot of workforce development, initiatives and concerns. And one of the things that I really admire about GCC is that it's an institution that wants to take down barriers, the barriers to education, the barriers to employment, and literally that is at the heart of all the work that you do. And from my chamber perspective, that's just so valuable in Franklin County because people, we do need to have help people overcome some of those barriers. And, in talking about workforce development, you and I spent a lot of time talking about the workforce in Franklin County, and we spend time visiting businesses. That's actually one of the most fun things we get to do. I've really enjoyed, we've had some really fun tours over the last year and a half, and it's it's really, they're not just fun, they're functional, right? So
They're
we have an
productive.
opportunity. We talk to people running, whether it's a large manufacturing plant. I mean, we went to a coffee roaster, we went to Yankee Candle, we've been to Irving Paper. I don't want to start
So
naming
many
them because I'll
places.
forget some. But we really learn a lot about the needs, the workforce needs. And we also serve on the board for Mass Hire, the board of directors for Mass Hire together. So I consider you such a strong partner in trying to figure out how to develop the workforce that businesses need. And now we have this change. We have people out of work. We have businesses that have had to close down. As they reopen, there may be some more workforce issues. There's going to be things they need to change some of their operations. And I certainly look forward to working with GCC on how we can assist them and a variety of members in our community sort of recover from this and come out of this, because it is time to think about reopening some things. You put together the Future of Work Advisory Board, which is just this tremendous group of people, and I'd love you to talk a little bit about that, because I enjoy those meetings. They're really terrific.
Definitely. So I'll take us back just a little bit. I think what makes the community college mission really extraordinary for this time is that we are deeply embedded in the community. Community college, as our name implies, is community driven and community oriented. So we have that dual mission of providing pathways for individual higher education attainment. And at the same time, we have the mission of responding to workforce and economic development. So working with the Mass Hire Board, working with the Franklin Hampshire Workforce board, that is very much part of our mission. And as you and I have been hearing in those meetings, that they've just been getting daily an extraordinary number of people who are unemployed, who are underemployed, who are looking to be retrained. And that is where GCC comes in. We know that community colleges have been extraordinarily responsive in times of economic crisis. And this one, I think, is particularly unique. And also one of the reasons that we need to lean on that Future of Work Advisory Committee. For folks who don't know, it is being chaired by Tom Fitch of Beat Fog Nozzle, who's just a phenomenal leader. We're very grateful to have him at the helm, and we have leaders across the area who sit on that advisory committee. And before COVID started, we were beginning to look at what does the future of work look like for our region? How is the fourth industrial revolution impacting them and where they are leading into? And I think what we are seeing right now with COVID-19 is that there is an acceleration to using more technology than perhaps had been anticipated, especially in the fields of manufacturing, in healthcare, certainly in financial services, and in other domains. So our job, I think, as the group reconvenes, is really to say, what are the jobs that have closed and that will reopen? What will their needs be? And the jobs that have continued, how will they evolve so that they become much more resilient to global disruptions like a pandemic that shut some down and led some to refocus and determine how they can help in the moment, and also what does their business model look like. So I think our partnership with the Chamber, you are so much closer to the businesses. The perspective that you bring, the perspective that your board brings is really helpful in terms of figuring out from GCC's standpoint, how do we help impact and support not just a single business, but the myriad industries that we have in the area. One area that I know we're both looking at very closely is the recreation industry. How are they being impacted during this time, and how we can help in their recovery and in their workforce development. So it's all exciting, it's all fun, and yeah.
It's really great because you see this at the Future of Work Advisory meeting, that you and I have the opportunity, the privilege really, to work with leaders across all sectors. You know, as you said, healthcare, manufacturing, education, tourism, recreation. They're all having a seat at that table, and it's really really fascinating to see how they're all really so intertwined and interdependent, not just in Franklin County but everywhere. But I think, you know, there's such strong collaborations in Franklin County, and we certainly count GCC as one of our strongest. And I think that the whole area is better for that. That we're working on all of those things. And, you know,
And
there
I
may
will say,
be,
before we switch, I just want to give a big shout out to our girl Claudia Pasmani over at the Amherst Chamber, and of course Vance over at Northampton Chamber, because they're also members of this group and they've been
yes,
extraordinary partners. So it's great to have that bigger regional perspective that they bring, and we're so grateful for that. So I think, you
yeah.
know, we've got that really dynamic trio with the three of you. We're grateful for
Yeah,
it.
I mean, there's so much collaboration and so much overlap among our business, you know, the business community from, you know, the Amherst, Northampton, and Franklin County areas. And there's a huge amount of potential there for, you know, again, further collaboration and, you know, moving people around in those areas. Uh,
One more shout out. I know I'm getting a little cheesy with it, but my girl Gabrielle Gould, oh my goodness, talk about a newcomer who is making things happen. And if you follow her on Instagram, you also see that she is an amazing cook, and so is her husband. So I'm very jealous of her, but the collaboration between her and Claudia, the things that are making happen, they're just really extraordinary. And I think our region is very lucky to have all of these amazing leaders. So
that's
enough
right.
with the shout outs.
And you know, having an institution like yours in Franklin County, also supported by the other higher educate institutions that are in Hampshire County. You know, we're really rich in that area here, and it certainly bolsters the community for sure. And I would agree. I really enjoy Claudia and Vince, and you know, they bring a lot to the table. They're really terrific at those meetings. So, well, I'm excited about, you know, things moving forward, and you and I and all of those other people getting back to looking at workforce. You know, there may be people that need retraining after this. You know, there may be jobs that don't ever come back. And one thing I know for sure is that Greenfield Community College will be right there to help people that may need any kind of retraining uh, and 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 redirection of any sort. So you're just you're really great. We've talked about how we can even reach down to high school students and you know, introduce them to the workforce and how we can strengthen it that way. So and that's part of, you know, keeping young people living in Franklin County. That's
Exactly.
something you and I talk a lot about. Um,
Exactly.
Making
And
making sure that young people have opportunities here that make them want to either stay here or come here. And we may see some of that as a result of COVID-19. People may be wanting to leave urban centers and live, you know, in more rural areas. It'll be interesting to see.
exactly.
Hmm.
I'm excited about the work that we were talking about before we started the interview, because what we are really strategizing around is how do we break down those different age groups, because we know that young students who may be taking a year off, taking a gap year, what are the employment options that they might have? We
Hmm.
have two tracks. We have those who are more academically oriented, who will go and pursue a degree and then transfer to the four-year institution of their choice. And we have some who might say, you know, I've had 12 years of schooling, I want to take a break. And at the same time, we'll need to see what their employment options are like. So I'm really excited to partner with you, Diana, around seeing how can we help prepare our young workforce to go and explore what different job options they might have in the area before committing to a career. And
Hmm.
there are short-term trainings that GCC offers that will allow them to do that. And at the same time, we know that the population that is 50 or older is going to be impacted and is being impacted, not just by COVID-19, but also by the impending economic downturn. When you look at the people who have the least level of technological facility, it is typically that population of 50 or older. So how do we ensure that they have the technological skills to be able to adapt to the new jobs that are going to emerge? And at the same time, we're also seeing that this pandemic is disproportionately affecting women in the workforce. So how do we make sure that we specifically tailor programs to help women who are impacted, and also support the folks who've been very generous, the folks on the front lines, the folks who are working in the grocery stores, the folks who are working in the front and back rooms of healthcare, the folks who are working in the nursing homes, the folks who allow us the privilege to be able to function at home, but their jobs don't allow them the opportunity and the privilege to do it remotely. So I think there are multiple subgroups that we're going to need to focus on, and it's not a one-size-fits-all approach, and we have to be nimble, and we have to tailor our approaches to those diverse groups of people who are going to be in need. So I think the partnerships that we've established between the Workforce Investment Board, between the Future of Work Advisory Committee, and the Chambers of Commerce, we have a unique opportunity to have a coordinated response that will ultimately lift up our region, and that excites me.
Exactly. So at the same time that we're helping all of those people that you mentioned, we're also helping all of our business community, because they're looking for people. I mean, one of the things that you and I have heard consistently as we visit businesses is that they need employees.
Exactly.
And so we know that there's people that we can make those matches happen. We can make sure that they're trained, that people are coming and we're training them in the areas that the businesses here really need them in. So it's responsive, as GCC always is. And I really, I just can't thank you enough for everything before COVID-19, everything during COVID-19, and the things that we're hoping to accomplish as we recover from this. I think that it's going to be an exciting time for us, and something we can feel really good about when we can, help our businesses get the employees that they need, and help employees find really quality jobs.
My lights just went off.
Dark.
I'll just need to wave a little bit. Okay, all right, here we go.
Well,
I've
Yves,
been sitting in my office for way too long.
I've never had that one happen before during one of these interviews.
Well,
so
adds a little excitement to your interview.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate, as always, your time, your input, your insight. You're just a treasure here. GCC is a treasure here. And I can't wait to see you in person.
Me too. You're the best. I
Hopefully soon.
can't wait to hang out again and get that pool ready for me.
Oh, it's ready. It's ready. All
Great.
righty.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Diana. Take care. Bye-bye.